Hello, my name is Emily. I have been working in Korea for a little over 3 years, and I'm ready to start this interview. In school, they can learn different subjects whenever they get older or if they're younger, but in general, they were all taught reading and writing, depending on whether they could write letters or if they were writing sentences or even maybe diary entries, paragraphs. They would learn to read, they would learn to write, they would learn language arts and how to discuss literature in a way. And then there were also other, normal subjects like science or math. There were also courses on like manners, I guess.
Manners?
For example, how to treat your friends or about traditional holidays or bowing or things like that.
Okay.
I believe the class was called Moody.
But do they learn writing? It's too early?
Well, maybe not writing essays or writing long stories, but whenever they're really young, they're just learning how to write letters. And then I believe after 5, maybe starting at 6 years old, they start to work on developing sentences. And then around 7, they should be writing maybe paragraphs that are up to maybe 5 sentences. I think it varies. It's case by case. It's different for every child. Generally, we try to foster a really loving and caring environment. Of course, it's a kindergarten, so that should be going on anywhere. But the fact that it is an English environment, it depends on what age I think they join the kindergarten. If they start whenever they're 3 or 4 years old, they can adapt really quickly because at that point, they're still learning Korean, learning to speak in Korean. But if they join at maybe 6 or 7 years old, it can be a little bit harder if they don't have any background in English. As for stress, I think they do have homework.
Homework?
They do have homework sometimes. And as they get older, they get more homework, which can be stressful for them. But I think that the stress can come from parents even more than teachers sometimes because the parents want them to always improve, right? Which is great. It's a good thing that parents are involved in their students' education. But I think that some students really adapt well having to be in an environment where their usual language isn't spoken, and it kind of makes them feel proud of themselves whenever they can communicate with other people. So that's a good thing about it, I think. Students who have a lot of support at home, the students who have a lot of support at home from their parents really thrive because if they're speaking in English at home as well, of course not all the time, but if mom and dad are trying to reinforce that speaking English behavior, then they get a lot more used to it. Of course, in the kindergartens, it's not all English all the time. Maybe until, in my case, the 6 years old students would start speaking in only English, unless they were in one of their Korean classes. Which reminds me that I forgot to mention they do take a Korean language class as well as Chinese. Of course, it might be different for different schools or different places, I guess. Most parents should know, maybe not should, but most parents would know at least a little bit of English. And, whenever you send them off to school, you could say bye-bye.
Yeah.
Or if they come home, oh, welcome home, hello. Did you have a good day at school? Things like that. Something to reinforce them using the English outside of school. So if the student is struggling to use English at school, they might see going to that institute as a negative thing. So if they practice with people in their safe environment at home, I think it's better for them to get improved.
She's thinking. Contemplating.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
I think that one thing parents should not do if they want their child's English to improve is to push them really hard to get better without supporting them as well.
How
So-
different?
So pushing, thinking, I guess I can use an analogy here. If I want this big rock to move, or I can tell my child, okay, this big English rock, you need to push over there. But then I don't give them a hand.
Okay.
However,
Supporting.
them does not mean doing things for them. It means telling them how to find an answer, or explaining how to find an answer, telling them how they can do something without doing it for them. There's a really fine line, and I think that some teachers struggle with that as well.
Yeah, right.
But parents, whenever your child is doing their homework, you've got to let them do it on their own. You've got to let them make their mistakes, but still telling them, maybe reading the questions for them or reading the answers out. Maybe saying, okay, first you need to do this step, next you need to do this step, and then let's check it together afterwards.
That's the supporting part, right?
Now, I think that parents shouldn't feel that they have to send perfect work to the academy. A lot of the times I've seen that parents let their child maybe do the homework on their own, and then after the fact they check it together and they say, oh, this one's wrong, you need to fix it, this one's wrong, you need to fix it. And then the child brings back a perfect homework assignment to the teacher, but the teacher can see that, oh, I don't think that this student has done this work on their own. And because we can't see the mistakes, there's nothing for us to help them with. So we can only see what the student does in class because of that. So I think it's important for parents to not feel embarrassed when their child makes a mistake, or feel like this is my child's homework assignment, but it's also my homework assignment to do. They shouldn't have that feeling, because it's not about them. It's about the child, about the student. Something that I used to think to myself as I was teaching was, mom and dad, you can be mom and dad. Let the teacher be the teacher. Let the teacher help your student. Something different about the students who are always pushed at home is that they feel the only thing that's important whenever they get to class is the grades that they get, and not what they learn. They are not focused on that. They're only focused on remembering something and being able to, for lack of a better word, regurgitate it. To listen to something and then repeat it, and then several months later that knowledge has just totally left their brain because they were focused on getting 100% right on the quiz rather than understanding the concept. So that's typically what I see from students who are really pushed and forced at home. The other difference I see from parents who are totally hands-off, who neither push nor support.
It's the two extreme cases, right?
Yes, exactly. Two different ends of the spectrum. So those parents who do not push and who do not support, their student tends to be more relaxed in class. However, and again, this is about academies. I'm not speaking for kindergartens at this point. Those students tend to be more relaxed and neither care about their score nor what they learn. Some of the best students I've seen always missed something. They should have the encouragement from their parents that, oh, you got 80% on that quiz. maybe instead of saying, oh, why didn't you get 100%, say, wow, you got this part right. You got this one right. Oh, you got this one right. I really think that you're getting better at this. What about these two? Maybe we can study this together later. Or maybe we can ask the teacher about it. So we have to have parents who are interested but not overzealous.